Do you remember when someone would come up to you and say, come closer, come closer. DC or Marvel? Who's better? Now when that question came up, we all know what the answer was. All the lamos would say, Marvel, I like the movies. Also, I'm gonna take my girlfriend and drive away in my Ferrari. And all of us cool people would say, whilst Marvel may have good movies, DC stories far exceed the storytelling capacities of Marvel. Now, if you would please excuse me, I am trying to study for my AP Calculus final. Good day. That was a common experience that we all had, right? Right, we all had that experience? For years, normies would say that Marvel was better just because of the movies. But today, I am here to tell you that not only is DC in the best place to take that slot from Marvel, but I think because of the missteps that Marvel has taken, it has set DC up in the correct place to take the throne of comic book champ. Before we talk about movies, I do want to talk about comics. Comics are the backbones of everything we're talking about today. DC is stepping up their game. While normal comic books have been on a slight decline, DC has combated this with their Absolute comic line, which has been making big sales. You see, something Darkseid, something Omega Beams, and now we have the Absolute universe. It's just like the main storyline of the classic heroes, except for one key component is gone. Superman lost being raised on Earth, Wonder Woman lost her home, and Batman lost his money. These are all key components that make these characters who they are. Without Ma and Pa Kent, who is Superman? Without Themyscira, who is Wonder Woman? Without money, is Batman even cool? The answer is yes, by the way, very, very cool. So these stories serve as different origins for our heroes and show a different side to the heroes we love. It makes me think about like the Killing Joke story, where Joker is convinced that all it takes is one bad day to turn someone like him. It turns out one harder life doesn't even make someone as bad as the Joker. You know, I am waiting for them to make a Killing Joke in compact form. I've enjoyed the compact form and love the new releases. Oh, what's that? You don't know what DC Compacts are? Well, let me explain. DC Compacts are a smaller, more affordable version of the paperback comics. Why pay $22.50 for a comic when you can just buy it for $10 and the art is a little bit smaller and the paper is a little bit worse? But if you're looking to get into comics, this is one of the best ways to legally read some of the best, most important, most iconic stories. Sure, paperbacks are a little higher quality, but I see compacts as a way to dip your toes in without getting fully wet. If you know me and would like to borrow one, just feel free to ask. Meanwhile, Marvel is putting out their Premier Collection books, which are bigger, higher quality, and $15. My issue with these is that DC nailed the price, $10. I don't care what happens to this book. It can be burned, drowned, stolen, anything. If I like the story and the art, I'll pay $10 more to get a nicer one. Meanwhile, with Marvel's Premier Collection, it's like a $5 difference between it and the nicer ones. Also, would I rather get 2 Marvel Premier Collections or 3 DC Compacts? Would I rather get 4 Marvel Premier Collections or 6 DC Compacts? Would I rather have 6 Marvel Premier Collections or 9 DC Compacts? You tell me. The other thing I like about compacts is that they aren't just doing Superman and Batman and Batman and Batman. Okay, they're doing a lot of Batman stuff, but they're also doing more indie stuff. Now, I know indie stands for independent, but DC's Vertigo titles always have seemed a bit more out there. I would say that it was cool because it allowed talented artists to explore their ideas and have them very much promoted by a big publisher. These comics didn't need to be about men in tights, although they could have those too. No, they were more about angels and demons, people surviving, or just anything. It really used comics as a medium rather than a necessity of storytelling. And with it announced that DC is going to relaunch the Vertigo brand, I think DC is set up tremendously for the future. Speaking of good DC stories, one thing DC has always done well, and I believe will continue to do well, is their animated movies. DC, unlike Marvel, knows that adapting their storylines for the big screen won't always happen as quickly as you would like. So they have elected to make a lot of their classic stories into animated movies. If you think about it, this makes a lot of sense. Comics are drawn for the most part, some are traced, but when adapted to an animated movie, you can take some of that same style the artist made and bring it to life in a movie. There are dozens of these guys. If I had to recommend any of them, I would say Under the Red Hood. I remember liking Flashpoint and probably Batman Assault on Arkham. Dude, Batman sure has a lot of adaptations. Jeez. I think these adaptations allow another good entry point for people to fall in love with these stories and characters. I mean, we get what? 2 to 3 movies a year? We can't adapt everyone's favorite stories. Maybe sometimes we just need to allow hardworking animators to bring it to life with video on demand. Meanwhile, Marvel's animated movies have not been as good. Well, I remember liking Planet Hulk and maybe Hulk versus, but only the Deadpool stuff. A lot of the other animated movies aren't adapting comic storylines, and that would be fine if they were good. And I'm not saying you can't do Civil War in your movies, but maybe I want to see more characters than what you're offering me. And I'm not saying I don't want to see Secret Invasion, but maybe I want to see Skrull Elektra for reasons. DC has actually been doing something else similar that I've really enjoyed. Now, I'll admit something to you. I like a good podcast, maybe an audiobook from time to time, but comics are a visual medium, so they can't do that. Oh, they did that? Spotify DC High Volume Batman, an audio drama retelling of Year One and Long Halloween and Dark Victory and Ego, and dang, there's a lot of Batman representation in these things. Now, where are we? Preacher Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker Season 2. All strong projects in certain ways, and it looks like they're setting up the storyline Salvation Run. I've personally never read it, and there's no compact for it yet. But DC has not shied away from the history and legacy of storytelling it's always had behind it. They're really trying to get you, the viewer, to hear their stories in any adaptation you find enjoyable, as long as it's Batman. I wish Marvel would do that. Instead of putting all your eggs in one unstable basket, do what DC is doing with their Elseworld title. This is what they're calling everything that's not canon to the DCU, the main movie line continuity. This encompasses TV shows and animated projects and the Batman, and mainly it's just the Batman. Marvel, please make an Elseworld label. I would love to see a better adaptation of Old Man Logan or Kraven's Last Hunt, or literally anything. I'll take anything. I'll take Howard the Duck. Oh, what's that? They did make a Howard the Duck TV show, but it got canceled along with a new season of Hitmonkey and MODOK and Tigra and Dazzler.